Hey everybody, Victor here with another video. As you guys can see, it's a little bit better lighting than the last video. I'm gonna improve. I'm looking at the videos as I edit them to see what I can improve. So I have a little bit of lighting in the background, so you guys can see me better and it doesn't look so grainy. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is things that I'm going through in my life on a daily basis. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to document my life as I'm going towards my journey to success. You know what I mean? I love business. I am self-employed right now. I wouldn't say that it's a big business. I would say that it's self-employed. I'm in control of my time, which has, if you think it's easy that way, it's not easy. It's actually more work than having a regular job. But I get to be there for my kids when I want, when I want to be there and when I need to be there for their school and whatnot. So I have freedom in that point. But anyways, I want to document my life and go over a few things that I'm going through and share it with you guys and see if it can help you guys with what you're going through. I am a father. A lot of the things that I think the most that I've learned, for the most part, that has really helped me has been from being a father, because I'm hard on my kids, right? And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about is being hard on your kids, because if you really love them, there might be a little bit of like anger towards you because you're really hard on them, but in the end, like, they'll be fine. You know what I mean? If you put pressure on them, if you put pressure on your kids, I think that it's like a diamond. In order for a diamond to become a diamond, it has to have tons of pressure to be that diamond. And I think that if your kids are going, if you're putting your kids towards this pressure, I think eventually, like any human being, they get used to it, and then they can start taking on more and more and more and more. And I've seen that with my kids. I push them, and their mom pushes them, and we're on the same page. Me and their mom, and they have been able to excel so much. And we do push them. We make them read. You know what I mean? Like I talk to some parents, and hey, being a parent is a hard thing. You know what I mean? But I learn from them too on what not to do and what's working with my kids. And some parents like say that, they make them read, that they are hard on them. They're not. You know what I mean? Because I've seen it. You know what I mean? Like, and you have to be hard on your kids. You know what I mean? You have to be hard on your kids. They have to see you be somewhat hard on yourself, or see you working hard as well. Because, I mean, they learn from you. Everything that they learn is they're learning from you. And so I am hard on my kids. They're where they're at right now. I wasn't even nowhere near as smart as they are, as organized as they are. I mean, and I have two. I have a daughter and a son, and my daughter has excelled from the beginning. She's been excelling so fast, and the reason why I see it. I mean, what I try to do is reverse engineer what works, right? And I try to figure out, like, what's actually working from the situation. Why is she excelling? She's been put through a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? Me and their mom got divorced when they were young. You know what I mean? And so they've been back and forth, and they've seen a lot of things. And they've been through things. Been put pressure on. Like, they've had to do so much in so little time, and they have had to do it while being in a car. Because, I mean, I am a contractor. Sometimes they've been with me where they have to be riding around with me while doing their homework. So they've been through tons of pressure, especially my daughter. And then my daughter, being so smart and doing a lot with what she's given, with the situations that she's has been putting into. She's been excelling, and this has been since she started kindergarten. Now my son, on the other hand, starting off, they were totally different. My daughter read like quicker. She spoke quicker than my son. But given that she's at this high level of doing things, we're talking about academics here. We're talking about, like, in school. And given the fact that she's the way she is, my son that's 9 has been exposed to that. So he's even excelling even more at her at at for example, he's in fourth grade. He's excelling more in fourth grade than my daughter did in fourth grade. But my daughter was doing great in fourth grade. Like she was doing like above average. This is what me and their mom tell them. Like you guys have to do above average in anything, in everything that you guys do, above average. Because that whole average thing, it's you're playing it safe. You know what I mean? You're just kind of you're floating by. So you have to do everything above average, because it opens opportunities. And my son right now, he's doing really good in school, and he's in gifted programs and whatnot. But he's been exposed to 2 grades above him, plus seeing someone that's excelling two grades above him. So he's doing really good, and he has tons of pressure. He's tons of pressure. My daughter puts pressure on herself to excel, but my son has pressure put on top of him, and they're both doing good. Why? Because they're having that pressure. And so what I wanted to say is that it's okay to put pressure on your kids. You know what I mean? Because later on they'll appreciate it. Like I appreciate a lot of things that my parents did for me that I realize right now, but I wish they would have put more pressure on me. I mean, they've done so good compared to where they came from, because they came from Mexico, from one of the poorest towns, and had so little to grow up with. They didn't have a lot of opportunity, and they're doing really good. You know what I mean? They're doing really good from where they came from, and that's why I want to become so successful, because I want to take it to another level. But I appreciate everything that they've done, but I wish they would have put more pressure on me, because now as an adult, I have to struggle with those things that I'm putting my kids through to not struggle with as an adult. You know what I mean? I have those hurdles that I have to overcome, because as a young kid, that I wasn't exposed to that. So you know what I mean? So 2 things to take from this is, it's okay to put pressure on your kids, because it serves them. It doesn't harm them, it serves them. If you really love your kids, if you really love them, you're going to make mistakes and whatnot. But if you really love them, they'll see it. They'll see that you love them. They're just gonna see you as their parent, and they'll get used to it. They'll get used to what you make them do. You know what I mean? You make them do their homework. You make you make them turn off the phone. You make them turn off the computer. You make them turn off the TV and do their thing. They get used to it. Okay, it'll just be another thing that they just do. So pressure's okay. So one thing that so that's one. Put pressure on your kids, and I'm gonna go to something else. And also expose them to something higher than them. You know what I mean? Like I follow another person called Cardone. He says 10x everything that you do. That kind of uses the same principle. Like expose your kids to something like a few grades level than them. They might not get it. They might not be able to read certain books or whatever. But expose them to them, because if you expose them to something higher than what they're at right now, it kind of pulls them higher than where they're at right now. Even if they're not ready. No one's ever ready, you know what I mean? So exposure is very important, okay? And pressure is very, very important. A lot of parents don't want to do that nowadays, because they don't want to make their kids feel bad. If it's good for them, they're not going to feel bad, you know what I mean? And if you're having conversations with your kids, like something that parents don't do, they just kind of make them do things, and they don't really have conversations with them, then you won't know where they're at. You know what I mean? So pressure and exposure is good, but you also have to have conversations with them. You have to gauge where they're at. You know what I mean? Like you can't keep pushing someone down to the floor and expect them to rise up if you still have that much pressure where they can't even get themselves up. You have to have those conversations with them and see if what's going on. You have to gauge where they're at. You know what I mean? You have to have that feeling. Okay, well, I need to let them grow in this area. But in terms of putting pressure, they'll get used to it. Like we all get used to pressure. You know what I mean? If we have to. You know what I mean? At a job, if you have a boss, or you work with somebody and they're a certain way, and you can't leave that, See, my kids, they're stuck with me till they're 18 years old. You know what I mean? So as long as they're with me, I'm gonna pressure them to become the best. I'm gonna pressure them to reach for higher goals. You know, and that's gonna serve them. They have no option. Like they have no other. They have no other. They don't have any choice whether they're gonna be reading or not. They have to read. They're gonna be reading because I said so. Because they're under my care and I'm their parent. And what I say right now goes. You know what I mean? And so it's okay.